I see literacy as the ability to use a language to communicate and obtain information.
When I think of literacy, the first thing that comes to my head is typically reading and writing, but I've also been learning that literacy is also language and the way you communicate with other people.
Being a literacy teacher to me involves the relentless mission to match the child with the right book. So that is one of the big things that I feel like is really important that literacy teachers don't always consider is for their independent reading books is finding that right book for the child that resonates with them, that connects to them in a special way, because a lot of kids have never experienced that before. So fight against the book prescription mentality, which is something that can be very hard, especially as a new teacher. But when people tell you that, oh, this student can't read this book because it's an 8th grade book, or we use this book for this over here instead. But fighting against that mentality that any child can read any book, and knowing what your students are ready for and prefacing it and sending letters home to parents telling them that there may be some books that have some more mature content, because if you do prescribe to that mentality and you weed out books in your library that are either because of language or content, it disproportionately affects books about people of color or books about marginalized people in general. And so it's really important to fight against that mentality, and also just to open up access to books and not keep them into the curriculum just because they've always been there. To choose books or mentor texts that empower students to connect to literacy, but also to connect to their world and to connect to each other. So if you're going to use a mentor text or a whole class book, to be able to connect it to the outside world and make it something that is an eye-opener for students. To make partnerships with librarians, teachers of other disciplines, and also community members to show how the things that we read in class are seen throughout their community and throughout the world, and also to show that the students having a relationship with adults with reading, like a librarian or like another teacher, is very important too.
Going off of what Mackenzie said, I believe that teaching literacy and language arts is taking all the information and all of the content we need to teach, and instead of just teaching it, we are creating learning experiences for our students within the community, and we're showing our students the importance of language, and we're showing our students how we communicate, and we're showing our students how language is relevant in the real world, and we're not simply just telling them. In order to build students' literacy, you have to make these experiences authentic.